Hi, Charles Moman here. Well, this may not look exciting to you, but it is to me. I got my adapter so I could plug into regular shore power and put the tester in on the outlet that's inside, and both lights came on that were supposed to come on, so it's wired correctly and I will not die. And thanks for watching. Well, I really wasn't that worried about it, that this is going to work, because I'm very careful about my wiring. But again, as I always say, if you're not 100% sure, get someone to help you, because this is real juice that can kill you. This is plugged into my house current via that adapter. When I'm at a campground, I'll have 30 amp and I'll use this super heavy duty Marinco cable. And about that power, the last episode 22, I had some people had some various questions or wondering about doing this or that. And by the way, here's the adapter I use. This is I got a Home Depot South wire. I think it was $10 or something. These two lights come on. It means everything's wired. The ground is all okay. So at the very minimum, use a tester like that. Okay, so just briefly, again, there'll be probably in this box here 2 Delta 1300s. And one person said, well, hey, whenever you're at a campground and you got power here, why don't you just leave these 2 cords plugged into the Delta, and of course that would mean the inverter has to be on, and just have the charger for the Delta plugged in, and so you're running through here, and then you have to switch cords, because then when you're offshore power and you need to run these outlets that I've got on either side, the cooking area, you're going to want to plug back into here. And my answer was, why run this if I don't have to? So if I'm on shore power, I'm not going to do that. Well, I may plug this in and get it charged up, but I'm going to have this running all the 12-volt devices, and again using this heavier than normal gauged extension. And the end of this is positive, negative. Plug this into this port, and it will run all my 12-volt stuff. And so my thought is, why run this and why run the inverter if I don't need to? This is going to last for years and years. But, because, I'm not a full-timer in that, so I'm going to get incredible number of cycles. I'll rarely let it go down below 50%. And now and then it may happen. Most of the time it won't happen. So when I'm at shore power, these guys are going to be plugged into shore power. I'm paying for it. I might as well use it. And this will be turned on, but only to run these 12-volt devices, which typically use so little power. The lights, the fan, the max air fan, it feeds juice to the USB ports, and it will send power to the 12-volt port for the refrigerator up there. And I'll talk more about that in a second. So that was my thought. Somebody just thought, why don't you do this? And then they went, oh, I see. That kind of makes sense. Why run it if you don't need to? So just want to say that about how I'm going to go from shore power to not shore power, and when I'm going to use these outlets for inside the camper or something outside the camper. So first wanted to just talk about that for a second. Just want to say something about running the refrigerator. And I forgot to mention this in episode 22. When we are driving, I'm actually not going to use a battery. Just like I was talking about back there, if I don't need the battery, I'm not going to use it. Less wear and tear, even though it's going to last me for a long time. Probably they'll last long past the time we're still camping, and we're planning to camp for a long time. There's a 12-volt port right there. There's one in the back that's built into the Transit. So whenever we're driving, this will be plugged in, a cord here, and it'll be plugged in there. Pure and simple. Just that's how I'm going to do it. Now, what if we stop Walmart or go in to eat someplace, or we're going to take a hike somewhere? At that point, what I'll probably do is just unplug from that 12-volt port, plug into the port that's there. I have a Blue Seas 12-volt port that'll be into the wall, into the shiplap, mounted nicely, and I would just plug the Iceco BL60D into that, go to the back, just lift the lid, make sure that whichever battery I want to use at that point, turn on the DC, it's now running. Now, if for some reason I had, let's say this River 600 out closer, I could just plug it into this, but normally I've got my system, it's nice and neat, that's how I would do it, okay? I said something about a long cord back there. I don't need to do that. I've already done wiring. Why should I drag a long cord back there? Though I could. I've got extenders, and again, if you get any of these extenders, please make sure to get the heaviest gauge that you can, because there's some that are such teeny wire, and I don't like them at all. So this is a heavy duty that works great. So that's just what I wanted to say about the refrigerator. Let me talk about a couple other things real quick and wind this up. Now, when we're putting the shiplap in and we cut the holes for all the puck lights, you can be sure I'm going to film that. I'm going to let you see how I'm wiring up the small puck lights that are very simple to use. But I just wanted to say a word about it because there were a couple people wondering about this wiring thing, and this was what intimidated me. But then the more I studied it, I realized it wasn't that tricky. Let me talk about the front. I call this group B up here. So I've got 4 puck lights. So how did I wire it? Well, what I did was I have a wire running here that runs all the way back to the fuse block. So it goes from the fuse block up, around, and it comes here. And at that point, it's going to go to an on and off switch. I showed you that panel with the 4 switches. There'll be a panel right here on this front of the cabinet, and it'll come to that switch, and from that switch it comes back over here. So then what's going to happen is, and that wire's already here, of course. So it's coming up, and I brought it out, made a loop, 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 and then it finishes here. So this is the last light in group B. So when I've got the 12-volt power running from one of the Ecoflow units, and I hit the switch, these lights will come on. As of now, it's just going to be on and off, because I don't think we care about dimming, but we can if we want to. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. And then there's also actually going to be some kitchen puck lights right here, 2 to 4 of them. And so I've got a line right here that says kitchen puck lights, and I actually have an extra dimmer now. The dimmer I showed you in the previous video, it's good, there's nothing wrong with it, but I decided I'm going to put that here. And so this kitchen area with cabinets, the microwave is right here. That will this cord here will power those 2 to 4 puck lights, but I'm going to have it going to a dimmer switch first, and then to the puck lights. So that'll all happen here. Puck lights to dimmer, dimmer to the power going back there. Okay. And so now I'll talk about the group A. These are our 6 lights that are above the sofa beds, and so it's living and sleeping area, watching a movie, reading books, and we definitely don't want these super bright all the time. And so it's going to be like I just mentioned with the puck lights. We have a cord running from the fuse block, and it comes right here to a dimmer. And I bought a standard dimmer that slides up and down with an on and off switch that is made for low voltage. I didn't get a household one. And that little round dimmer that I showed you will go up here for the kitchen puck lights. So it comes up here to that dimmer, and from that dimmer it comes up, and I believe the order was I came here, made a loop, here, 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 and there. Finishes right here. And so it's, again, if you're going to do dimming, you have to make sure you go from your power source to the switch, from the switch to your run, wherever you're doing that light or lights. So, and just in case you wondered, I actually have, you can't see it here probably, but I have an extra pretty long loop of pair of wires coming from fuse block. It just says extra line. And I think I'm going to run it over and put it either in this box or probably in the cabinet for something I don't even know what it would be yet. And since I'm not enclosed yet, I've got enough wire. I think I'm going to run it, and I have plenty of spaces on the fuse block. I'm going to actually run another one up here and feed it into this cabinet. If there's something that I've missed that I want to wire, like say we decide we want a fan here, USB fan, and have it wired permanently, I could do that. I can also plug it into a panel as well. So that's how the wiring works. And just in case you're wondering, I know some of you are thinking, he's had that wall done forever. What's going on? Well, as soon as Susie finishes the framing here, and it's all locked and secured, it won't be totally finished just yet with the sill. But then at that point, then I can put in the mineral wool all around, Reflectix, so it'll be closed up. And then before the shiplap, we decided we needed to cover some of the metal. Some of it will be custom pieces of wood that will be covered with automotive carpet. We're getting a little thinner than you would get at Home Depot, and it molds real well. So there's a lot of good videos out there about using 3M 70-something, 90 or whatever spray, glue, and you make it fit the carpet, glue it well, and then staple it on the back. So we're going to be doing that here and there, and then on some of the open bare metal, we'll probably just spray glue right on it. I think that's how we're doing it, and have carpet on all the exposed metal, and that helps with the condensation issue, which we won't have a lot of trouble with anyway because we have air moving. So that's where we're going, and hopefully I'll have this all for you covered up next week. And Susie is now getting ready to start working on this bed, but she's on a mad rush to finish painting the shiplap, because we want to take our little runaway camper and put it back in the garage. And actually, if it's where we park our Dodge Caravan, we turn it sideways, we can park the Caravan easily. This won't fit in no matter what. It's just a little bit too tall. It would be nice to have a tall garage door there, but I don't have it. But it's fine. And so that's where we are right now. Now I'm going to take all this furniture out as we get closer and closer to doing shiplap. So we're excited about that. And thanks for watching.